Tirupur in Tamil Nadu is India's textile hub. It's also called India's dollar city, and for good reason. Last year it exported textiles worth over $4 billion, or over 34,350 crore. But Tirupur has also built its fortunes on labor arbitrage. Migrants make up about 50% of some 6 lakh textile workers here. The migrants largely come from UP, Bihar, Jharkhand and Odisha. Now, reports suggest that about 60,000 of these workers have already left Tamil Nadu, heading back to the northern and eastern states. What does this labor exodus mean for this growth engine of the south? Joining me to discuss this today are Kumar Doraiswamy, Joint Secretary of the Tirupur Exporters Association, Mr. Bhanuchandra Nagarajan, economist, and my colleague Karthik Malhotra. Gentlemen, welcome to the News 9 Plus show. Mr. Doraiswamy, why are workers leaving Tirupur?
Actually, we've been started questioned by a lot of media and friends from different parts of the country, like seeing the news that cropped up a couple of days back.
Yes.
And it was a true surprise to us, but because there is no such things happening over here.
Right.
To be very honest, laborers going to their native and coming back, it is a routine here.
Right.
But I can say the last 2 years after the pandemic, post-pandemic, we faced a lot of challenge in the business. Overall global scenario, the exports are down, not only in Tirupur, not only in India. Overall, the exporting countries faced a lot of challenges.
Yes.
And there were less working hours, and orders are very less, more than what we are normally doing.
Right.
So why the workers from northern states are coming to Tirupur or to any parts of India? It's to earn money, earn more money.
Right.
So if there is no continuous work for them, then there is no use for them to stay here and spend some money on boarding and food, and they cannot also support their family at their own states.
Right.
So there is a part of labor started moving from this place or from any manufacturing places across India to their natives. And once the situation started resuming back, orders started coming, at least if 600, 700 workers coming from north every day, at least 200 to 300 people will be moving to north, maybe for some functions, some marriages, some kind of
so there's a constant churn. But you're saying that because of recent problems with a slump in the global manufacturing, global exports, you think that laborers are going back mainly because of that and not because of better opportunities back home?
No, it's definitely not, because they want to also take a break, and there is no use of sitting here and left with minimum work or low work. So they want to spend some time with the family, and going back to the family and staying with the family, they can spend less there. So instead of if there is an earning, definitely they will not go back. So now the last 2 months post holidays, like the New Year sales and all the holiday sales were too good. Buyers started placing orders with us. So all the manufacturing units started resuming the work. So there is a dire need of laborers, and a lot of laborers are turning back.
Karthik, what about this churn that Mr. Doraiswamy is mentioning? This fluctuation you said in the workers and all that. It's obviously not mainly because of the economies in the north doing better, but for various other reasons that he outlined.
So I think, there's a clash of data here, Sandeep. So reports are suggesting that there is actually a reverse migration of labor. Labor which had found employment in southern states, specifically in Tirupur, is now finding similar employment closer home. So if you look at the overall India textile story, India ranks number 4 globally in textile exporting countries. No surprise, number 1 being China, number 2 being Bangladesh. Maybe, that balance would have tilted now a little bit. But India being number 4 when it comes to textile and apparel exports. Now, the fact of the matter being that if migrants are moving from one part of the country to another, it is obviously a demand-supply issue. There is greater demand not according to what Mr. Gurusrai is saying, but overall from what we understand from other reports is that there is greater demand for labor in the state of Uttar Pradesh, and Uttar Pradesh also already has export clusters specific to textile. Noida, where we are sitting, being one of them. There is one being built in Gorakhpur. There is another one coming up in Bundelkhand. So overall, there is also government's push by way of PLI into the textile sector. So out of the 1.97 lakh crore rupees of outlay for PLI, given for the 14 sectors, textiles is one of them. Now, to my mind, Sandeep, this is India's opportunity to really double down on textile exports. Because we know there is a crisis looming in Bangladesh. We don't know when that crisis is going to ebb out.
And the Chinese growth story
of course, the Chinese growth story is slowing down. But overall, there is also tepid demand. So if you look at the festive season, the festive sales in the US, where exports eventually land up, it's either Europe or US, you didn't see the kind of festive frenzy that you're used to seeing. But this, in any case, is the general macroeconomic story in the US. But the point is, textiles being essential, textiles being necessities, there is going to be a larger global demand which is going to open up at some point. India needs to be ready for that.
Absolutely.
Now, whether it is Tamil Nadu, whether it is UP, whether it is Tamil Nadu and UP, I think the larger question is both states which also compete actually on their own contribution to GDP. So UP being number 2, Tamil Nadu being number 3, you know, they're also competing with each other, and net exports being the denominator there. I think there needs to be
interesting point there, Karthik. In fact, I want to bring Mr. Nagarajan in on this. You know, this point that Karthik raised, this competitive federalism between UP and Tamil Nadu. UP is already number 2. It's the second largest state economy, 22.58 lakh crore last year. And it's what, 9% contribution.
9.2%. I
think 9.2% to the national
Tamil Nadu is
income.
9.1%.
Yes. So
Maharashtra taking the lead at 15%
is number
plus,
1,
15.7.
way ahead of the rest. But you know, what is this kind of competitive federalism? How does it augur for industry like textiles, for instance? You know, where Tirupur is so heavily dependent on labor from the north, and you have this large workforce that's now, you know, would prefer to nearshore.
Finding other avenues for the same skill that they have.
What does that mean for India as a competitive destination?
See, there are a couple of aspects to it. Like, one is the social aspect, one is the economic aspect, and I would actually dwell on how one interacts with the other. First, let me deal with the economic aspect. Like the previous speaker was saying, the competition for Tamil Nadu is not just within India, but you know, it's international in nature, and especially with textiles, like what the previous speaker was saying, Bangladesh is going through issues, and there's a huge opportunity for us to capitalize on that. And in international economy, there are ascending countries and descending countries, which means that though there are certain countries, like say for example the US, that might have been great before, it's sort of coming down, and countries like India are going up. A similar analogy can be applied to states within India as well. See, states like Uttar Pradesh are considered as ascending countries, where like there are new investments coming in. There's a new political setup that is cleaning up things, and the PLI schemes are actually being targeted at many industries there. So there's a great amount of economic opportunity there, and there's a great amount of ascendance that is happening. Okay, so this is a whole economic context. Now let's come to the social point. In Tamil Nadu, it's very obvious that you know there has been mistreatment of migrants. There has been a narrative peddled not just by the DMK people, but also even ministers and MPs, even in parliament, saying derogatory things about North Indians. So people from UP and Bihar are there in textile manufacturing regions for the sake of livelihood. When they now get new opportunities, for example, see the note mentioned that tourism was one of the biggest drivers, right? So tourism is a great employment multiplier. For every dollar put in tourism, it produces $8 of output. So there are first order and second order effects. So it's creating more jobs, and I'm not surprised that people are moving back. It is sort of ironical that Tamil Nadu positions itself as a manufacturing hub. Now the Chief Minister Stalin is in Spain with asking for investments. There was an investor meet recently that actually positioned Tamil Nadu as a manufacturing hub, and all of this manufacturing is based on labor. I do not know what Tamil Nadu is going to do if all the labor goes out. So I think the focus of Tamil Nadu government, especially Mr. Stalin, is to make sure that migrants are treated well. They're not subjected to racism. And Mr. Raghuram Rajan, who's the advisor to government of Tamil Nadu, speaks very eloquently on how social tensions will cause economic issues, but he's not advising government of Tamil Nadu properly. I think he should advise that this sort of racist behavior towards migrants is going to hurt the economy of the country.
Right.
News 9 Plus. Download now.